Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Walt. I want to talk to you guys about my situation. A lot of people want to know what does from the coma to the stage mean. So from the coma to the stage is because I went into a coma November 10th of 2016 with congestive heart failure. Now, there's nobody's fault but my own. I was a functional alcoholic, and when I say functional, I mean I was bad. About a half gallon a day for about 4 years straight. My drinking started early. I was late. I was scared of everything. So I didn't start drinking until late in my 20s. And then I just kind of lost my way. Uh, and I didn't lose my way really till my brother passed of cancer. And it was tough for me. I'm not big on excuses. I mean, I was drinking before that, but let's just say I took it to another level. And over time, I realized, my face was sunken in, my teeth were yellow, my eyes were yellow. I was really, really bad, and I was just doing a lot of messed up things. And I prayed, I begged God, I was like, God, how can I shake this habit of drinking vodka all day, every day, without going to rehab? And I prayed and I begged him and I begged him, and God don't make mistakes. Uh, he woke me up, you know, November 10th. He woke me up about 3 in the morning, and I could feel my heart beating in my hand. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And my wife at the time was laying right next to me. I didn't even wake her up. I didn't have that time. God didn't tell me to do that. God told me to go to the hospital now. So I drive to the hospital and I let them know, hey, I'm a functional alcoholic. I tried to quit on my own. This is the second day without a drink. My withdrawals are bad, and I could literally feel my heart beating, in my hand. And they sat me down, and I don't know what they said or who said what, but it wasn't a lot. I just know, my wife called me and asked me where I was. And because of I suffer from anxiety and depression that I tried to keep calm, I was on the phone with her. I was like, I'm in the emergency room. And she's like, wait, what? And I was like, I'm in the emergency room. It doesn't sound like it, but I'm trying to stay calm. And she was like, oh my God, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. And I remember when she got there, but I was loopy. They already had the drugs in me. And I just remember waking up 10 days later. And it sucked because when I woke up, you know, um, I had to hear about, what was going on and let me know you have congestive heart failure. This is what it's looking like. You're going to be on medication and da 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 da. And in my head, you know, I was relieved because once I found out that I was in that coma for 10 days, I was like, wow, there's no way my body's going to really want liquor. It's not going to crave it. But I was wrong. I told my wife to go home and take a shower and come back. I mean, she's been in the hospital with me at that time for like 10 days straight. That woman loves me. I still don't understand why, but she does. Anyways, so I tell her to leave. She leaves. Doctors come running in like 5 minutes later. And they're like, hey, Walter, we're going to have to take you to the back and flatline you or you're going to die. And I was like, I'm on drugs. I'm like, yo, somebody call my wife. Somebody call my wife and let her know what's going on. We already did. She's on her way back. So I'm like, all right, well, let's get it on the road. If she said, yeah, let's do it. Because my wife is the reason I woke up. They were about to pull the plug on me on the 10th day. And my wife knows that I don't like medicine. I'm very stubborn. I don't like aspirin, Tylenol. I don't like none of that. I always kind of relied on my body. I'm very stubborn. And that one day could possibly be my downfall. But it wasn't on this particular day because my wife said, take him off of whatever y'all got him on and see if he wakes up. She told him that I wake up. But now I'm all over the place with this story, so forgive me on that. I just had to throw that in there because I forgot it. I'm just freestyling here. This is not rehearsed. It's not written. I'm just talking from the heart because I feel like this story should be out there and people should know about it. Where was I with that? Yeah, so they take me to the back now. It's flatline time. They flatlined me the first time, right? And when they brought me back, I was like, whew. I'm like, yo, all right, that happened. I'm here. I'm back now. It's kind of cool and crazy at the same time. Then they said we got to do it again. And when they said we have to do it again, I heard the doctor say, if we do that again, we could cause some damage to the left ventricle. And I tried to put my hand up. They put me down. They did it again. And my lung collapsed. And I had to go to ICU for 20 days and recover. And in that time, I was in a dark place. They were giving me drugs and stuff, so I had plenty of hallucinations, plenty of visions. Uh, I don't know what was real, what was fake, so I'm not even going to get into that. But what I do know, what was real, was the power of God, His presence, Him in general, just period. He was there. I was getting frustrated with doctors in there because I just wanted to go home. And God was like, no, you need to be here because you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. And I sat there frustrated. I couldn't walk, couldn't talk, trach in my throat, neck, whatever. And it was torture for me. And I just really wanted to go home. I wanted to see my dogs. I just really wanted to be out of there. I didn't like them. I'm not a big fan of hospitals. But anyway, so I finally get released. And when I'm released, I had to go back. I got released December 7th of 2016. And I had to go back for a checkup. And I went back for a checkup a couple days. They broke down all the medicines that I was going to have to take and all the things I was going to have to do to live and get on disability. And what led me to bodybuilding is this. When I was in that coma, I saw a thing. I saw a vision of myself. I was muscular. I wasn't big. I wasn't like this big muscle bound dude. I was athletic with it. And I was doing physique competitions. Now, I was on a lot of drugs, but this seemed like so real. So once I got home, I heard them tell me disability and stuff. And once I got home, I believed in my heart that I didn't need that. I believed in my heart that, don't drink. It's simple. You asked God to help you quit drinking. He did. Now the ball, you got it. What are you going to do now? I have, I haven't had a drink since. It'll be 2.5 years since the incident. And so I knew, I just kind of knew. So after a couple of months of going back and forth to the hospital, finally, the end of January, they told me I was allowed to work out, but keep it light, keep it heavy. I'm sorry, keep it light and keep it steady. Not light and heavy. That made no sense. Keep it light, keep it steady. So I did that. And I felt like I was getting stronger every day. My wife's an excellent cook, so she fed me well and stayed on top of me like I was a child, not throwing salt at her, but she knows me very well. She knows how stubborn I can be. And I started training. I would dirty bulk. That's what I did for a year. I didn't eat super dirty, but I loved honey buns and I ate stuff like that. But I always kept it clean and lean with my chicken breasts and stuff like that of that nature. No, I've always loved vegetables. That's always been my thing, especially broccoli. I'll die for that. And so I bulked up. And when I was released, I was 158 pounds, and I went all the way up to 250. 258 was the biggest, but that was water and fat. That's when I kind of lost my way. Penn Station called me a couple of times, asking me when I'm coming back, type deal. So I get up to the 250, and then I'm just this big guy, and I'm working for a moving company, and my health is back. I'm always going to have complications. I'm always going to have problems because I was born with a hole in my heart. Like I had a bullseye on my back since birth. And a lot of people don't know this about me. A lot of people just think that, I'm just this big kid, like 25, 24 years old. No, I'm not. I'm not, a few people will guess my actual age, and I'll leave that there. I won't reveal it just yet. I'll reveal that on my birthday, which is in May 3rd. So I'm 250 and I'm just puffy. And my wife looks at me And she says, "Babe, it's time. It's time to compete. Let's trim it up." And I did that. And here's where my stubbornness played a huge part in my bodybuilding. I tried to cut down on my own with no knowledge. I was very ignorant. I was like, well, I'm just going to eat less, do the same workout routine, and boom, I'll be straight. So that 250, I came down to 215, 220. I looked good, but I didn't have the definition I thought I should have with the mass that I had. So my coach, I contacted him, and that's how we met. I needed help. His name's Ken Montgomery. And I was like, I'm going about this all wrong. And I met him in July of 2018. And the show that I wanted to do was November 10th of 2019. I'm sorry, of 2018. And we were prepping for that. But he had no clue how my body operated, nor did I. You know, I was new to an actual real prep with a real coach and not just me being, man, I got this. I know what I'm doing. Come on, man. I try to treat everything like basketball because I was really good by myself. You put me on the team, people get on my nerves. I ain't kind of really want to pass the ball that much. So that's a story for another day. But anyway, my man Kenny Neal, he grew up with me. He can vouch for that. I never saw a shot I didn't like. I'm sorry, I'm just sharing with y'all right now. Anyways, so I get with coach and he sees me and he does my body fat and gives me a test. I'm 212 at 6.3% body fat when he meets me. He gives me, my formula to start me getting ready for November. Now, I don't know if he just was giving me something to see if I could be ready by August, which was a month away from when we met, or not. But in that month time, I took that 212 and came down to 190, and I was 3% body fat for that first show. And I did that in 4 weeks. And to me, I thought that was kind of fast. Maybe I ate off some muscle. I was confused. And then we do that show, and I win. I win the Indiana State Championship for men's novice physique. And I was really proud. I was really, 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 really happy. And about that show, you know, I miss my brother, and this is God right now. And I can't express how powerful God is. He hears your prayers. If you're having problems, if you're having trouble, trust me, pray about it. Pray about it. God, He hears. He hears. He woke me up out of a 3 a.m. sleep to tell me to go drive to a hospital. I'm not from the side of town of Indiana that I lived at. I'm from Philadelphia. So I had to Google to find a hospital to go to. I've always been healthy up until then. I mean, I had a bad heart, but I was always able to play ball or do whatever I wanted to do. And I know my body so well. I know if I start painting, it's time to like chill out, settle down, take a play off. But anyway, so I get there for this show. I'm 190, 3% body fat, and me and my wife, we go in for check-in, and I was running late. I was nervous, a lot of emotions. I was on no carbs because I followed my prep to the T. I'm that type of guy. If you tell me to do something and I know it's going to help me win, I'm going to do just that. I'm not a guy that's like, well, what if I do this? Or can I just do a little bit of this or a little bit of that? Nah, I'm going to do exactly what's written down. And so me and my wife, we get there and they're like, Walter, you know, um, you're late. And I was like, okay. And as I'm late, I'm just waiting. Me and my wife standing there. So I close my eyes out and I pray, and I'm just standing there. No one knows what's going on. I just literally, I'm going to show you just exactly how I did. My wife was looking at stuff. As I'm waiting before I can check in, I just close my eyes like so. I said, God, Larry, who is my brother, I've never done anything without my dad or my brother big like this. If I played ball, my dad was at all my games. And I said, God, I kind of need Larry right now. I kind of need my brother right now. Because my brother told me when he moved out here with me for a little bit before he got remarried that he believed that I should be doing fitness because that's what I love to do before the liquor took over. And here I am going to do this, guy, and I don't have my brother. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do it when Larry's not there? You know, Larry's always been there for me, man. Like, how am I going to do it? Like, I'm serious. Like, God, how can I get up there without my brother? Because Larry, he always wanted me to be, you know? And so, boom, I said amen, went on. And then they said, hey, Walter, since you were late, we got to give you a number. And that number was 77. And that was the year my brother was born, right? So when I got that number, I just felt like this whole spirit. I can't make this up, y'all. I felt like this whole spirit, this whole thing just like changed my whole body, my whole aspect of everything. And I didn't even do the show, but I knew I won. I knew it. They gave me number 77 and I felt my brother. I felt it. I knew that I fucking won that show. I'm sorry, I'm cussing. That's just how I get. I knew that I won that show. And I go do the show the next morning. And I'm nervous. I'm texting my wife. I'm letting her know what's going on backstage before I go up there. And then I go do prejudge. I do the morning show. I called my wife on the way back to pick her up to get ready for the evening show. She asked me how I did. You know, I told her I felt confident. I didn't want to be cocky. I was like, I felt confident, but you know, a few of those guys were bigger than me. I knew I was the best conditioned. I mean, 190 at 3%, at 6'3" and a half, 6'4", that's pretty lean. And I knew that, you know, I was the most conditioned guy, but you know, they like bigger guys in this sport. I've learned that. And so we go out there the evening show, and this is so surreal because I didn't feel normal. I didn't feel like I was me. I just felt like I was someplace else. I don't know if that's the Holy Spirit. I don't know what it was. But when I got called out there to do my posing routine in the evening, I did it. And then when they called, you know, the placing for Class C, which was my height class, I placed number one. I won it, you know. And when they said Walter Kettner, you know, was the winner, you know, I kind of was like, wow, you know, that's the first time I actually like really. I mean, I won a high school basketball championship. That was cool. I had teammates. That was already a well-established team before I transferred to that school to go win. Now, I don't know Kevin Durant stuff. I'm not saying that they were like a championship contender. No, that team sucked before I got there. Just kidding. They were all right, but they wasn't on the level to where we went once I got there because they never won a championship. We did when I got there. Um, I leave the stage from winning in my height class, and they tell me I got to go right back out there to go for the overall. And now here's where things get tricky. Uh, they took the trophy that I originally won. And they said I got to go back out there, and I didn't even have time to pray. So I was like, right now, and they're like, yeah, right now. And I didn't even think twice. I said, let's go, y'all. We got it. And then the extra, I was like, who you talking to? And I said, nothing. And I went out there and I posed, and they said it was a good contest. The guy who I beat was close. I even told my wife, I was like, I don't know. We'll see what happens with this guy. He was a great competitor. He's a great competitor. My man Terry, you know, great competitor. Nice guy, nice guy. And so when they said 2018 Indiana Novice Physique Champion, Walter Kettner, my whole body went numb. Like my whole body went numb, and I just looked down and just closed my eyes, and I just thank God. And then that split second of me closed my eyes, I just saw my brother with that same grin that he always do. Every time he would tell me to do something, I would do it right. He would always go. And everybody that know Larry know that exact face. Yeah, young bull. That's what I saw. and it was great. But yeah,